Hi everyone. So this video is going to be my end of February going into March wrap up, I guess. I don't really know what I'd call it, but I am basically going to do my February wrap up, my March TBR, and updating my reading journal in this video. And I'm going to start off with the February wrap up just to get it quickly out of the way. So let's just start that now. So I actually started off the month finishing the Mile High audiobook by Liz Tomford. This was a book that I've had my eye on for years now, to be honest. But a lot of people say that it's not that good and that the other books in the series are much better. I was honestly considering not reading this one because of everyone's opinions on that book, but I think it just came up on Libby or something like that. So I decided to give it a go and I really liked it. And I feel like a lot of the people that were saying it wasn't as good for them are people that I have a similar book taste to. So I'm not really sure where that came from. I do think that it's not the strongest romance, but I still really enjoyed it and I did really like the main characters. Definitely more Stevie, I think that was her name, but they were likable people in my opinion. I know that he wasn't as likable at the beginning, but over time I feel like Xander's kind of put more effort in. That's my personal opinion. So yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. And then I listened to Evenings and Weekends. This was a book that came up on BookBeat, I'm pretty sure. I finished my subscription this month and I just wanted to read something a bit quicker to finish off, make the subscription worth it basically. And I've had my eye on this one recently anyway, just because the cover is interesting. But I went in not knowing anything about it and I gave it 3.25 stars, I believe. I would say overall, I don't have massive feelings towards the book. I didn't dislike any of the characters. It's a multi POV book set in London in I think the late 2010s, if I remember correctly. Um, and it's just a bunch of Londoners. It's really hot, and if you've ever been to London in the summer when it's too hot, it's a whole different city basically. And yeah, the whole book is just following these point of views. I definitely had point of views that I preferred. The character Phil was probably my favorite point of view. I wouldn't say that he's always a good person in his point of view, and there was a specific part that I didn't like, and that was to do with his mum, who also had a point of view. And also, Phil just had a lot more of a unique storyline compared to the others. You kind of just see him reflecting on his childhood, being gay, and knowing that he's gay in a town that maybe doesn't quite accept that. He's also got an Irish mum and kind of just following her and her, what she's got going on as well, and how she's looking at her sons because she's got 2 sons and you don't really get much of the other son's point of view. You do a little bit and they're obviously different. One's straight, one's gay, and you see some of the other different stuff that's going on between them. But yeah, I really liked Phil's point of view and his dilemmas throughout the book, and I really liked his mum's point of view. The other characters were all okay, but yeah, the only other thing that I really didn't understand was why Princess Diana was brought up so much, because when I started the book I thought we were in the time that Princess Diana had recently died, or she was still alive, but we were in 2019, I think I found out at the end. So I'm not really sure. I know that we love Princess Diana as a country, pretty well, most of us do. Um, but she was brought up quite a lot, and I don't know. Maybe I was missing something because I was listening to it rather than reading it, and maybe it was old footage of Princess Diana. But she was talked about a fair amount for it being 2019. And then I read Romances for a Week, which was my last video. The first book I read was the Rom-Commers, which was one that I started on a train journey home from London and then didn't pick up until I filmed the video. And I really like this book. You can go to that video, it was Reading Romance for a Week, and see more in depth, because as you'll see in that video, I did have a very unique experience reading this book, and that was largely due to the health anxiety in this book and just a bit of a focus on health issues. And that's just something I've learned about myself, is that maybe don't read a book that talks about that sort of thing. But at the same time, I really love this book and I gave it 4.75 stars. So I don't know, I need to like think of my own boundaries, I guess. My reasoning for it not being a 5 star is, one, because I think we could have a bit more of a like warning, or yeah, a warning of there being health anxiety. I think I still would have read it, but I know that there's probably people out there that have even worse health anxiety than me and probably wouldn't want to read this and might not know that without looking at the reviews. And the other reason was because although I think Charlie, his reasonings behind things in the end made sense, during the book I was just a bit like, I don't know about you, but I still liked him. It was a very weird vibe going on with me and him. Um, but yeah, that's my like reasons for it not being a 5 star. It kind of did feel like a 5 star, to be honest. And yeah, I just really liked them individually. I loved her relationship with her family. I just liked them together. Like, I feel like they were really good for each other. And yeah, it was just cute. Very Emily Henry vibes. So I would definitely recommend this one. Unless you have health anxiety, then maybe go in cautiously. And then in the same video, I read The 7 Year Slip. This was a 5 star. I just loved it. I half listened to it, half physically read it. Sorry that the light just changed because of the sun. But yeah, I just really, really like this. I have realised that the trope where they're going to be together in every lifetime is like one of my favourite tropes, just because it's just cute. I don't know. I don't know why it's my favourite, but I really, really like it. And it's just, there's something magical about it. And obviously, this is magical realism, so it kind of goes hand in hand. But yeah, just both of the main characters were really likable. I really liked the like little side stories you get with like her friends and his family and her family. I really liked all of that. I loved that he called her Lemon as her nickname. I thought that was so cute. And yeah, just all the little details, like even all his tattoos. Like, I just really, really love this one. And I would highly recommend if you want a good romance. And not gonna lie, since reading those two books, I've been in such a romance mood. I haven't read another romance, but I keep looking at all my books and I'm like, I just want to read a romance, but I don't want to like overdo the romance because I know that I can do that. And then finally, in that video, I finished off Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. This was a 4.25, I believe. I did really like it and I preferred it to the first Magnolia Parks, but I am definitely more of a Daisy, Christian, Julian girl than a Magnolia and BJ girl. As I kind of said in the Romance for a Week video, I just feel like Magnolia and BJ just need to be together so that like everyone else can move on with their lives. It's kind of like a weird thing for me because I know a lot of people love Magnolia and BJ, and a lot of people love Magnolia and someone else that's in this book. But I just don't love any of the relationships. I just feel like just be together because their connection is just so unique, and I don't know, like, you just need to be together and let everyone else move on. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt about the book. I did prefer both characters in this book, I think. Actually, I don't know if I preferred Magnolia. As I said, I'm not like a big Magnolia fan. I just think we're so different. And that's kind of why I like Daisy, because I do see some more of myself in Daisy compared to Magnolia. But BJ was definitely more likable in this one, but the reasonings behind his actions didn't quite sit right with me. And again, go to my other video if you want to see like really what I thought about that. His reasonings were valid, but there was ways that he could have gone about things that obviously would have made the whole situation better. So finally, I listened to Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. This was, I think, very short. I think it was like 6 hours, and I thought I'd just listen to it whilst I like clean the house and stuff like that. So yeah, I rated it 2.5 stars. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this was a bad book, but it kind of felt like there was no ending, and really there wasn't really much of a plot as well. So that's why it's a 2.5, because I don't think I can give it a 3 star because it didn't feel like there was a whole lot of substance to it and like things that I can pick out that I liked about it, but I didn't dislike it either. The characters were really interesting and I was enjoying like following along with them, but it just kind of came to a point where it finished and I was very confused about what was meant to happen. I don't know if I like missed it because obviously I was listening to it, but it felt like nothing really happened. We kind of learn all this stuff about all the different characters and then it comes to nothing. I didn't dislike it. So if you are a fan of like ML Rio's writing, I'd recommend it, but it's not really horror. It's not really got like a specific genre, I feel like. So if you're like a horror fan and you're thinking you might want to read it, I'm not sure I'd necessarily recommend that one. So yeah, those are all the books I read in February. I am currently listening to Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano. I think I'm almost 50% into this one. It's quite long. I am at a point where it's kind of taken a turn in the story, which is good because it kind of wasn't really going anywhere. I am liking it, and like personally, I am enjoying the different sisters and like their individual personalities. I can see a lot of my mum in Julia at the moment, anyway. I don't know if that's going to change, but other than that, not too sure how I'm feeling about it. I know a few people have really liked it. I think Lauren's Reading Corner really liked it, and I was really hoping I'd like it, but I'm not sure at the moment. Anyway, I have a driving lesson in 15 minutes and then I have to work. So I don't think I'm going to be able to update the rest of this video today. I'll probably have to do it tomorrow. I will tomorrow probably sort out my March TBR and then update all of my reading journal. I have quite a lot to do, so that'll be fun. Okay, so this is the bookcase area of my room, and I think I've kind of briefly shown it before, but pretty much these are like my more immediate TBR books, and then the rest of these two shelves are the rest of my physical TBR, and then all the books that I've read are like down here and also behind the camera. So yeah, I think it's like 70 books at this point on my physical TBR, and that doesn't even include like big series. So obviously you can see up here even I have the Slytherin editions of Harry Potter, and I would like to read those. It's not like a high on my TBR thing because I did read them when I was younger, and I feel like it will just be something where I feel like I'm in the mood to read it. And then also I have the City of Bones series. Is that what it's called? No, Mortal Instruments series, the City of Bones. And yeah, so in reality, I have like a lot more books on my TBR, but I try not to include those because that just scares me to know that there's that many books on my TBR. So for this TBR, I'm not going to be doing anything like fun to pick it, and that's just because I haven't really got time, and also I have like a few books I do want to read, and I feel like it's just not going to work out for this month. But maybe next month I'll do like a little fun TBR picking video. So I do already have 3 books on my Notion for my March TBR, so I do a little TBR for every month on my Notion. And at the moment I have Us Against You by Fredrik Backman. That's one that I've wanted to read since I read Beartown last year. I also have These Twisted Bonds on there. That's the second book in the, I don't know what the series is called, but the second book after These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. And then I also have Meet Me When My Heart Stops, which is an audiobook that my mum listened to on Libby, and she really liked it and she recommended it to me. So I have got it on hold at the moment. So I'm hoping to listen to that after Hello Beautiful. So as you can see, I have quite a few books, to be honest, on my priority TBR, I guess I'd call it. Obviously, I've got Us Against You on here, and I've also got These Twisted Bonds. So those are 2 books I already know are on my TBR. I normally try to read 6 or 7 books in a month. It really does vary, to be honest, and that's including audiobooks. And audiobooks are definitely what makes me read more in a month. Also, like romance books, I feel like make me read more. I obviously already have 3 books on that TBR. I'm going to add 5 more. that could be a mistake. But I'm gonna add 5 more to the TBR. So that'll be 8 in total. I don't think I'm gonna reach that, but it's just fun to have some. I also normally have like priority on my Notion. So like Us Against You, for example, that's our really high priority for me, whereas the other two are just like sort of medium. So yeah, I'm just gonna take this off because it's obviously gonna fall. But I'm gonna take that one out for now, and these Twisted Bonds. Let's move this. These Twisted Bonds. So those are the 2 books, not including the audiobook. And other than that, I don't think I'm gonna get any of my holds on Libby this month. So I don't think I need to put any more audiobooks on. So if I do listen to any, they'll probably be these physical books, but as an audiobook. Guess I need to add Hello Beautiful to the list. So maybe I won't do 5. I think I'm gonna do 4. So let's pick 4 more. I'm thinking, this is always so hard. I've put this off. It's literally the last day of February right now. I always put it off. Right. Guys, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna just look at all my books and I'm gonna get 4, 5, 6 out that I'm thinking, and then I'll come back to you, because otherwise I'll be standing here for like 10 minutes probably, and that won't be very fun for you. So yeah, I'm gonna do that and then I'll come back to you with my other options. These are the 6 books that I think I'm going to put on my TBR, so I've chosen 4 extra ones. So I thought I'd just give a bit of a reasoning behind each one. I was thinking I'd save this until summer, or like at least spring, but I found, because of how sunny it is in London at the moment, I've just been really wanting to read a cowboy romance, and this is the last book I need to finish in Chestnut Springs. Then Killer Instinct is kind of a rogue one, to be honest, and this is the one I'm not as certain on. It's a bit longer than the Naturals, and from what I remember seeing from other people, it's one of the less favorited ones. I don't know if that made sense. I feel like I need to continue the series ASAP, because I think if I leave it a long time, I'm just not gonna finish it, and I have all of the books, so I just need to finish it. And then All the Dangerous Things was on my February TBR, and I didn't get to it in February. This is another one that I've had for a long time. I read A Flicker in the Dark in 2023, I think. I'm pretty sure, yeah, 2023. And I really did quite like that one. I know some people didn't like it, but it's still not as popular. Like, I feel like Stacey Willingham, that's how I'm gonna say it, might be Willingham if she's American. I feel like she's a bit underappreciated, in my opinion, but I know that some people don't really get along with her thriller writing, so completely understandable. But I do feel like more people should read her books. So yeah, I read A Flicker in the Dark and really liked it, and as soon as I read that, I bought this one, and I just haven't read it, so I'm really excited to read this one. And then the final book I added, which is dirty somehow, is Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This is one, again, that I've had for a while. I actually only read When in Rome last year, but I had had both books for a lot longer than that. And I didn't love When in Rome. I think I rated it 3.75 stars. So I'm not sure how I feel about this, but I do think there is like a little thing where you either love the first one or you love this one. And obviously the new book has also come out, the 3rd book. So I do want to get through the series. I read When in Rome at a similar time last year, and I feel like it was a pretty good time to read it. So I think I'm going to read this one. So yeah, those are the 6 books that I'm going to add to my TBR, and I'll add them obviously to my Notion as well. And I'm just going to really quickly like rearrange my little priority shelf there. Yeah, I guess that'll be the end of the video. You will have obviously seen my February wrap up and my reading journal updates. Actually, this isn't the end. I need to add these to my reading journal. So I'll do that, and then I'll say my goodbyes.